All right, now let's look at some actual content. I'm in virtual classroom, math test, and let's go into geometry and then special right triangles. So here is the content. There's video 1, 2, and 3, and 4 that teaches you about special right triangles. Then there are practice questions that test the information that you've learned in those videos. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items in this section. And it tells you right here that we're on item 1 of 6. So this is actual content. You can tell that this piece of content is a video. You see the little video screen there, and this is a text or a graphic, and because it's got a little piece of paper there indicating that's a graphic. That's what a practice question would look like. So let's open up a video. The teacher begins to teach, and you watch it, take notes, whatever. And you'll notice that once it's opened, it turns blue. This is gray right here. Has the name of the content. In this case, it's a video, and it's 1 minute and 19 seconds long, and it has today's date. And it turned blue. That means it has now been accounted for. So over here under triangles, you can see that I've completed 1 of 6. If I undo these, oops, I was on this one, special right triangles. So now it's back to 0 of 6. If I open one of them, now it's counting 1 of 6 is done. So you have control over which items that you're studying get counted. So it's a good way of tracking. Okay, now I'm in virtual classroom, math, algebra, factoring. And you can see that there are 6 here, but there are more. So I can navigate to the next content by clicking these bigger blue areas here back and forth. I can also, if I'm working, pause that, I can also use these 2 arrows up here, and this will open up the next one, and the next one, and the next one, or the previous one. So back and forth using those arrows. I can also use these arrows here. I can also use this little icon here. That's 1 click, and it expands the area that I can see the content in. Click it again, and now I see all of the content. This can be very useful if there's a lot of content in a section and you want to see it. Click it a 3rd time, and it takes you back to where you started. So this is a useful little tool. The left and right arrows can also be useful, and the left and right arrows here are useful for tracking through the content. Alright, now I'm going to show you a nifty little tool that is especially helpful with graphics. So I'm inside of text resources, workbooks, math, geometry, volume, and here's all the content. And you can see there are 13 pieces of content. So if I wanted to take a better look at that, I could see all 13 here. But if I open this up, I can only see as much as the window lets me, and I have to scroll down through it. Sometimes all you need is this amount of area, but sometimes you want to see it all at the same time. And the way you can do that, number one, you can expand and stretch down the window to reveal more, or you can click this little pop-out image button right here, and it will pop the image out and give you more control and more area to see. And it's got a scroller bar on the left side. Also, if there's content that you want to print, you can use the little print icon here, and it will open up your printer, and you have all of your printer controls here, and you can obviously print that content. And that printer option is available without having to pop it out. You can print right from inside this window. You don't have to necessarily pop it out first. Okay, now let's look at a nifty little navigation inside of the classroom. So let's say you're working on any kind of content, especially video. This one is factoring expressions. So I open up the video, and you'll notice that there's a drop down right here called reference files. If I click the drop down, if there is information that is cross-linked to this video, I can open it from here. So in this case there is, and sometimes there'll be a lot of information, sometimes there isn't anything, but this will open up the 800-page ebook directly to the page that corresponds to the video. So if I want to learn more about factor expressions, it opens right up to that page. Now this has its own navigation and sizing controls here too. So I can stretch this, I can increase the size, and there are a ton of controls up here on the top that you can play with to get just exactly the right size and location that you want. And you can print from in here too. So the integrated ebook is a very useful tool. Any of the videos or most of the videos are going to have a cross-reference into the ebook. So you can have your video playing and you can have additional content open using this reference file approach. You also have a lot of control over the video. So let's open up a video here. And the teacher starts teaching. You can increase the size by increasing this window, or you can also pop the video out and have it be independent of the window. So that gives you more control. And if you click that again, it pops it back in. So whatever size you make that, you can pop it out and you can pop it back in. And that can be a very useful tool when you're trying to manage the space on your desktop. Okay, that moves us right into the issue of multiple windows. So let's take a look at that. This is just a way to manage your desktop area more efficiently. So let's say that we were learning about geometry, the special right triangles, and you had a video open. You can pop that video out. Let's pause it. You can pop the video out and it can be playing here, and you can resize that. At the same time, you can shrink down the window so that it's down here in the corner. Now you just have the video, and let's say you wanted to open up something inside of workbooks, math, geometry, and we were learning about triangles there. So there was maybe it was Pythagorean theorem. You can pop that out also and then shrink this one down. So now I have both the video and an associated graphic open at the same time. But also, let's pop this back in. I could also open up a third thing. I could find inside the ebook where the information lives, and I can open that up. I can pop the video out, shrink this down, shrink this back down. Now I have all three open. I have the video, and if it's just the talking head, I could shrink that down to any size I want. And now I have the correct page inside of the ebook open where I can look at that information, and I have control over the size of that, and also inside of some other part of the program, if there was a graphic that I wanted to look at, I could have that open too. So this gives you a lot of control over the content. Alright, that moves us right into the special navigation issues dealing with the quizzes. So let's take a look at those. Okay, the quizzes live under this little green check mark, and there are verbal quizzes and math quizzes. Under verbal, reading comp and writing and language, which is the grammar. Under the math, there's arithmetic, algebra, geometry, trig. So let's look at a verbal reading comprehension quiz. And these two right here come from real SATs. So let's look at one of those. So to take the quiz, I have to open the passage because it's a reading comp, and I get the passage, and here's my first question. So I would be reading the passage, and again, I can resize this, I can move it around, but I'm going to take, it's a 10 or 11 question quiz, so I'm going to take it really quickly. I just select the answer choice, A, B, C, or D, and I go through all of those, and when I get to the end, it grades it for me. and there's a passage explanation here that gives me an overview of this passage and explains it. And then also each of the questions is graded. This tells me I got 2 out of the 10 or 20%, and then it tells me what my answer was right here, student answer, and what the correct answer was. And then if I want to take a look at the explanation, I just click on it, and then I can either return. You can see it's quite a bit of information. I can return to the quiz results, go to the next one, or I can just navigate through the questions this way also. Now I'm done with that quiz, so let's say my teacher or a parent or somebody wants to come in afterwards and see how I did, so they would click on that quiz and go to prior results, and then the date of the quiz is here. This one I just took today, and it tells me the date and time, how many I got correct, what the percent was, and then which ones I missed. And then it also has a link right here to the correct answers, and it just pops up all of the correct answers, and you just cycle through them, next, previous. So that's navigating the quizzes. Very helpful, useful section. Okay, that's the navigation video. We've talked about the home page or the main user interface, each of the study area's main windows. We've gone over content, how to navigate it, all the special rules and navigation tricks with content. We looked at multiple windows, how to control your desktop and your workspace, and we've looked at the special case of quizzes and how to navigate through those. Good luck with navigating through the PowerPrep.